Today's topic falls in the training category, and it's for small group leaders. We're going to talk about driving toward mentoring in your small group. Here's the thing. Without mentoring, small groups can become a small version of the big problem. That is, ministry that doesn't personally help the ones in need. Now, we know that this can become a problem in larger churches. Everyone is coming to listen to the preacher preach, and then everybody goes away confused and helpless. But small groups can become the same kind of environment, especially if you're a great small group teacher. People come to hear you teach if you're not careful, and pretty soon they walk away just having consumed, but not really having connected. We see that this even happened with Jesus in Matthew chapter 9. He'd been traveling through all the towns and villages in the area, teaching and preaching the good news, healing everyone. It was like a revival. But verse 36 is the most interesting bit. It says that when he saw the crowds, thousands, he had compassion on them because they were confused and helpless like sheep without a shepherd. So we know that this can happen in our churches. Lots of people come, they're hearing great teaching, but they walk away confused and helpless. And the same thing can happen in our small groups if we don't drive toward mentoring. So let's dig into this a little bit. Group leaders, like pastors, have the job of equipping people to make disciples. Small group leaders, I want you to hear this. The small group is an ideal environment for what we call handoffs. You equipping someone to mentor someone else and making the handoff in your small group. First, to the pastor's job description from Ephesians 4, verses 11 and 12, it says, Christ gave this gift to the church, apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, teachers. I would add to that small group leaders. And look at what it says in verse 12. Their responsibility, so small group leaders, this is for you. Your responsibility is to equip the people to do the work and build up the church, the body of Christ. In other words, don't look at your small group and think, I have to do all of the ministry. I have to do all of the talking. I have to do all of the pastoring in my small group. That's not actually true. According to Ephesians 4:12, your responsibility is to equip other people in your small group to get in the game and do some ministry. Now, we, of course, call that ministry disciple making or mentoring. So small group leaders, you have to equip people in your small group to help you lead people in your small group. And you're probably asking, well, how do I do that? Well, this is really simple. Take a few people through the pursuit outside of small group time, and then ask them to do the same thing with others from the small group after you're done with them. So let me walk you through this from the homepage. You're using these featured topics from the front page or from your church's partner page to have these engaging, disciple-making conversations on faith, on family, on life. And that's great. That's exactly what these tools are designed for. But as you scroll just a little bit further down the page, you'll see that section called the Pursuit. Think of this as the training track to bring a handful of sort of first-level leaders through these 12 topics. And by the time you're done with these 12 topics, they're going to be equipped to go back to the small group and help someone else. Now, you'll notice that I put a little asterisk on this, that you're asking them to do the same thing with others once they've been brought through the pursuit. The reason I have an asterisk there is because they might not all be ready for the pursuit right away. It might be better to engage them for a while, one-on-one, using these featured topics. After all, let's say that you're going through this topic on the 9th commandment, and that's great in a small group setting. But there might be someone in the small group who needs to dig deeper on, say, one of the life topics. Let's say that they're going through something with their in-laws, and it's really not something that you're going to get to in a small group. It's not appropriate for the whole group. Well, this is where mentoring is perfect. Once you train some of those mentors to connect with people in the group, then outside of group time, everyone can start diving into other topics that are really going to meet their needs. Eventually, that's going to lead to everyone going through the pursuit. And guess what? Then more and more people in your small group are going to be trained to be disciple makers. So that's the way it works. Take a few people through the pursuit outside of group time and then ask them to do the same thing with others from the group. That means mentoring happens outside of group time, and that's where some of the best conversations can happen. Now, one more thing. Who are you looking for those first few people? Well, look for people who are available and teachable. The best mentors are usually like fishermen. Now, what I mean by that is don't just look for the smartest people in your small group or the ones who know the most about the Bible, because you can know a lot about the Bible and not really care about people. And those kinds of Christians are never going to want to help someone else. So look for the available and teachable ones. Those are the first people in your small group that you want to mentor, and then you can drive toward mentoring in your entire small group. And pretty soon, everyone in your group is going to be pursuing God together.